All right, test, and looks like we are good to go. Hey everybody, hope you guys are all having a good afternoon or good evening wherever you guys are. Been a busy day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Loki wants to say hello, but I'm gonna keep him down for now. He's all excited because he heard me talking to you guys. But for today, it's gonna be a little bit of news, and then I wanted to talk to you guys about some technical analysis and stuff going on with the Bitcoin. I want to say about an hour ago, Bitcoin really started to have a nice little pump here, so we're gonna be checking that out. And then just going over some altcoins I'm looking at buying right now. I know I have my glasses on right now, which makes it harder to actually see my eyes, but that's pretty much what we're going to be after here, okay? Now, the best order for me to go through this stuff is probably for me to go through some charts first, then go over some news and what's coming up over the week so we can kind of interpret what that may do to the charts, and then probably just talk about some type of coins I'm looking to buy here. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, okay? Putting my glasses back on. Normally I don't wear contacts on the weekends here, so you guys can see me in my normal working glasses, so to speak. And hey Monster, happy to see you back. Alright, so let me make sure this is actually working, because I've been trying to use Nightbot to like let people know on the other streams that I've actually been, like I'm live, but I always want to make sure that it's actually going through. So give me 1 second here very fast. I don't know if I went through just yet, so I'll let it sit for another few seconds. Okay, but anyway, here, let's move some stuff around on my part so this makes it a little bit easier. And that should work out okay, I think. Yep, okay, sweet. Sorry about that. I'm trying to break apart my audio so I can have music being adjusted while also having desktop audio, and it's not going well because my application is broken for Pretzel, where I get my music from. Been a nightmare. Anyway, moving forward. As far as Bitcoin's concerned, we're going to zoom in here in a second, but we're pretty much up here still at a level of resistance, still having some issues getting some follow through here and actually having that next big pop. What it looks like it's happening right now is something more of a dip and rip type of effect happening. You can see the dip right there, and you can see how we're trying to rip out of it. Let's go over here. It's maybe a 1 hour chart. There you go. Kind of a nasty dip, but that's what happens after you break out sometimes. Alright, but so far, guys, we've managed to hold. That's really the good thing here. Everybody's getting more and more excited about it. You guys know how I usually put certain days above others as far as saying, hey, we need to have a pretty seismic move here pretty soon if you guys want to see the market continue to go higher and higher and higher. Well, we'll get into one of those moments again where we need to see the market go higher sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we're going to start to give back some ground, and we're going to head back down to like, I don't know, like 34,000, 33,000 on a larger drop. Smaller drop, maybe I guess probably back down to just 34,500. But from, again, 37,000 to 35,500, that's a pretty substantial drop for a lot of people that have altcoins out there, which is why I just want to let you guys know. So, easy fix here. Look at the 4 hour chart. You guys, I know I love my moving averages as always. We're holding that for dear life right now. For the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, basically all weekend we've been holding this. And it's not like it's performing badly right now. In fact, you can see Bitcoin's had some smaller breakouts here, and it's still holding up just fine. We are, if you guys are bullish on Bitcoin or bullish on any altcoins, you guys are pretty much loading up on altcoins right now. And you're loading up on Bitcoin at this point, and you're just having your stop losses there. Momentum has slowed a little bit here. It's not so much that it's turned bearish. It's more that the risk for buying this week, it's more of the news coming out, messing with the price action of Bitcoin. Not so much that if you buy Bitcoin, it's not going to continue to go. Because right now, it still looks like we're bullish. We're still holding. We had a couple of dips, but like I said before, and this is going to be a recurring theme here, I guess, for maybe one more week at the max. Every single time we have one of these dips, it just seems like it gets bought back up, and then you're right back to where you want to be, where you're looking at a potential breakout occurring. Same thing here. Bitcoin, though, on the 4 hour chart, just to give you a heads up, it did have this bearish crossover. Again, not the biggest thing here, but the momentum is starting to slow down a little bit as far as the downward move, as you could probably see from that chart. Daily chart, we started to have those crossovers a few days ago. Still hasn't done anything terrible, but that overall momentum is continuing to slow. So again, we're in the euphoric mode. Everything's really good right now. It's not going to be good probably over the next the 2 to 3 weeks. It's probably going to get a little bit ugly. But until then, you know, we can enjoy all the gains that we've been getting. And we have been getting some really nice gains here. That back over here. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, just one little thing. Zoom out, double check. If we do manage to have one more surge, we're probably going back up towards around 40,000, 40,500. If you guys have anything, or if you guys are buying right now, that's probably going to be one of your price targets. The easiest way, if you guys are buying right now, just FYI, I've been using this. You know, I've been trying to figure out the best places to sell, or just make sure I have those hard levels of resistance. Things on the shorter term here, they've been okay, but not the best when Bitcoin's been having this massive move. So if I went over here to the 4-hour chart, you'll see the price target of 1 right here where I normally sell. It's fine. We've had some levels of resistance there, but it's not, you know, there's too big of a gap between this and way up here on $43,000. I would still refer you guys back to what we talked about in the monthly charts here. This one right here. Just keep that one in mind, 40,628. It might not be exactly there, but last time we came up against the Fibonacci levels here, it was pretty darn good. We did end up actually crossing over it a few times, but in reality, they were pretty good opportunities to actually short. So that's just the big thing I want you guys to understand right now. It might not be this month. That's what I said a few weeks from now. But things are probably going to get pretty nasty pretty fast. But again, we still have a little bit more upside to go here, so that's a really good thing. If we start breaking down below 36,700 levels, that's where you guys maybe start getting more defensive and you're like, uh-oh, I probably should just scale out here. Or if you have some stop losses, just let the stop losses hit, okay? Some of the things I've been watching here very quickly. Oh, let me make sure. Hey, Devin, hope you're doing well. Just talking about crypto, of course. What's up, man? I like watching your channels. I'm Solana Bull. Solana's been doing very, very well so far, and it's been getting pumped up by some really large influence, which is always a nice thing right here. And hey, Crypto Ricky, pullback soon? I mean, the oscillators would suggest we're looking at something more of a pullback, but every single time they've been doing that over the past 2 to 3 weeks now, they've been wrong, which has been a very, very annoying habit of theirs. But at this point, we are at a major level of resistance. We're trying to break out above it. This is usually a safer opportunity for people that want to short. It's just that every time we've had these dips, they've just gotten bought and back up. And this brings me to some of the news that's coming up later on here this week, and I'll go over some charts here in a few minutes. Oh, Tim Scott, breaking news, drops out of the 2024 presidential race. I mean, I don't think he had any chance to win, but now the race gets a little bit more narrow here. Can you guys see this, actually? Let's go to 200, yeah. All right, futures are down. The big thing here was the Moody's outlook. It didn't seem to be too good. They were saying that we're not going to be able to manage our debt. The politics of the country are a pretty bad spot, yada, yada, yada. But again, another kind of check at the box of like, uh-oh, something bad is approaching here. Now, let's see. Is this it right here? Yeah, this is it. I think most of you guys probably have the overall gist here, but if you guys don't, there you go. Moody's Investors Service lowered its ratings outlook for the United States government to negative from stable, pointing to rising risks to the nation's fiscal strength. I think what's honestly happening right now is America, because we're like the #1 country in the world, we have all this money and power and military, yada, yada, yada. We've always been allowed to use our money in very stupid ways in which most other countries are not able to, because they don't have the reserve currency for the world. We are now getting so wild and our debt is getting so out of control. There's going to be a point here pretty soon where we can't just keep spending like crazy. And again, over the last few years, we just continued to spend like crazy. There was COVID, and then the new Green Deal, and then the infrastructure package. We went berserk with spending. We're not going to be able to do that forever. And this ticking time bomb here is going to blow up one day. Again, who knows when it's going to happen. Everybody can have their own opinions, but probably over the next like 10, 15 years, especially because we're growing faster and faster and faster. It's not like we're like slowing or anything like that. We're just growing faster and faster. And I think they said like a decade, or I think it was like 15 to 20 years, maybe something like that, a little bit more than a decade. The largest expense the government's going to have is not Social Security, not the military, but just the interest on our own debt. So imagine you guys have a job, and the largest thing in your checkbook or whatever you guys have, it's going to be just paying the interest off your debt, not paying the debt back down, but just the interest off the debt. It's, just keep this in the back of your head as always. All right, a few things else out here. This one isn't so much crypto related, but the Marvels had the worst opening weekend ever for an MCU film at 47 million. I wasn't sure if this was more of just a bad movie, because I don't watch movies like this too much, or if it was more like people just don't have a lot of money to go to the movies right now. I would say it's probably just a poor movie here, but I'm wondering if this is going to affect Disney's stock going forward here, because Disney is just having a rough time of it, just a rough time of it over the past few years. They kind of got into politics, and they didn't choose the more neutral side of politics, I guess, where you can say like something that everybody agrees with. They went for those divisive issues, and that's not a good thing. All right, other two things here on the news list is Biden and Xi are gearing up for a high-stakes meeting. Experts have a low expectations. This isn't so much about the meeting, but usually after meetings like this occur, there is some type of big announcement that comes out. Just make sure this announcement doesn't scare anybody or have any adverse effects to the market. Just be aware that when this does happen, the following day there's going to be some announcement. Be careful of any tech plays that you guys have. It's not going to be huge, but I don't really expect much. I don't think Joe Biden's had any big moments going abroad as far as like something substantial coming out of it. He went to Ukraine. That was kind of like an emergency war type of thing. He went to Israel, more of an emergency war thing, but I don't think he's actually gone and done something and kind of came back with a huge plan or something, you know, to show for all the pomp and circumstance, so to speak. More of just, you know, showing off for the friends and stuff like that, which every country does. But just keep that in mind. And here, this is probably the biggest one of them all. House Republicans unveil their plan to avert a government shutdown next week. I don't really care about the plan. You guys can watch the news about that, and I'll look into it more this week here. There could be a shutdown here pretty soon, so expect the market, again, to have a little bit of a tissy fit. I don't think this really applies too much to cryptocurrencies, but the overall stock market, just be aware it could have a little bit of a... It could make the market nervous overall, okay? That's just really the big thing here. All right, now, as we get all that stuff, let's go back over here to some of the charts. We're waiting for Bitcoin to try to have another move here. So far, it still looks pretty bullish on the short-term time frames, but longer term, we do need to continue to move up. Let's see what the 4-hour chart says. I mean, tomorrow evening, we really need to get going here. And on the other side of that, we really don't want to be breaking down below 36,687. If we start tipping over here, that's going to be a pretty big move. And usually when we do break down below the 20 moving averages, it's usually a pretty bad move. So overall, we're still looking fine. Nothing totally crazy. If you're buying right now, I would really implore you guys to maybe pick and choose your battles. Don't just like buy anything. Bitcoin seems okay, but that this slowing down of momentum really irks me a little bit, and it's not like we can't crash and again, you know, get bought back up, but still, usually when we crash and have those types of events, that's usually where I get stopped out of, and I'm not a happy camper when that occurs. All right, a few other things here. Let's go daily. Oh, not Dogecoin. Where's Ethereum? There we go. Ethereum tapped on support down here. I don't know if any of you guys bought it, but if you guys did, you guys are looking at a little bit of profit at this point. Another dip and rip effect happening here with Ethereum. Dogecoin broke out a while ago. It's still going up at a pretty reasonable pace. XRP consolidating, again, waiting for this breakout. I know we've already done a lot of the technicals here because we talked about this on Friday, and I was just like, well, you got to wait and see what happens here. You could bite and nibble and, you know, see where it goes. So far, you are seeing some death crosses here, which isn't a good sign, but if Bitcoin manages to break out, all will be forgiven as far as a lot of these short-term technicals. But keep in mind, we haven't broken out yet. So some of these things are probably not going to be the best things to buy. Same thing with Ape. I'll actually over to a day chart so you can see what I'm talking about. Everything's still moving in a great direction. You can still see this thing overall moving up quite a bit. So if you guys are thinking like weeks out, you're probably in a good position to continue to buy. However, if you guys are looking for day trades and things of under 36 hours or so, you're going to see a little bit more consolidation on some of these altcoins here. I'm not going to call them crashes, but consolidations are probably what's needed for a lot of these things because some of them have had some massive booms where over the past few, this is a 4-hour chart, by the way, a 2-hour chart, excuse me, you know, past couple days or week, you know, we've gone from $1 to $1.50. A 50% rise, it's going to have to cool off, in which case, you know, you saw this one move here. Within a couple hours, it went down like 25%. Yeah, you know, so just be careful of that. Let me go back over here. Is anything actually moving today? Filecoin seems to be moving, so let's go over here to the 4-hour chart. Oh yeah, this broke above that 200 daily moving average a while ago, and look at that sucker. At a level of resistance, probably would not be buying this right now, but it shows how these smaller consolidations have been yielding some good returns. And I think that's just pretty much the whole thing here with the altcoins. If you guys see a breakout here, those breakouts are usually a really good opportunity to buy, but it seems like they're not everything is breaking out so quickly. This one broke out, had a small breakout, consolidated, then had a second breakout up here, in which case we closed above the level of resistance, and then the following 2 hours and so forth, it decided to kind of pop back up here. I'm still bullish on the majority of altcoins. As long as they're testing resistances in that moment, it breaks out above it, I'm hopping on the train there. Now, the other altcoin I think that was doing well right now is the one that I pretty much sold out of. And I told you guys, what did I say? I just sold out of this altcoin, which means it probably has one more pump to go. And what did you know? Matic had one more pump. Now, as far as this is concerned, actually, I did buy back into this, but it was a day trade and not so much of a multi-week swing trade. You can see there's 2 breakouts right here. That was the first one. I actually did not buy that one, although maybe I should have. I bought this breakout right here that went from there, and I traded it up to there. Probably should have bought that one down there, but I still walked away with a handsome profit, so I'm fine with that. Again, just kind of watch to see how these moving averages are kind of behaving. They're going to have to keep on pumping, and once you start to see those things roll over, especially on the 2-hour and 4-hour charts, that's when you guys know we're looking at a little bit of a longer-term consolidation. Nothing is even close to that on the altcoins, and I think that's just because everything is so oversold. The one thing that I'd be letting you guys know about the things that I'm looking at buying right now. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Let me take my head out of here. There we go. There are going to be tokens that haven't really moved over the last 24 hours, okay? So you see a lot of stuff has been moving in the last 24 hours. You got Celestia, Clayton, Terra, Filecoin, Ordi, Matic, FTX token, whatever. That stuff I'm not really playing around with unless it's at a level of resistance and it's breaking out of that level of resistance. I'm not buying a lot of stuff until we have the breakouts, okay? Now, oops, there you go. On the other hand here, we got Kronos and Pepe and Theta Network and Huobi token. Over the last 24 hours, they really haven't been doing something. But you can see over the last 30 days, they've been doing plenty. The way I'm viewing this right now is, to me, that means they've had a pop. They're in a consolidation range, and I'm waiting for a breakout on those ones, okay? That's what I'm really hoping for at this point in time. If you guys are looking for 15-minute trades or half an hour, chart trades, you guys could just be looking for whatever's popping on the last hour or so. That's usually going to be a good idea of what you guys are aiming for. But if you guys are looking for something that's consolidating still and hasn't been broken out yet, and you guys just want to have that alert set on your phone or your TradingView app, whatever, look at the last 24 hours, see if it's moving or not. And if it's not, that just means it's consolidating, especially because, again, all of these that aren't moving so much over the last 24 hours, or they're moving down, I should say, they're all up like 30, 90%, 87%, 68% over the last 30 days, okay? There's really not many of them as far as higher market caps, unfortunately, so that safety net that you guys may like isn't there. You guys are going to have to go over to page 2 and 3 on coinmarketcap.com, and if you guys want to see that. So, again, page 2, you got a lot more in this consolidation. You guys can see how everything's popping up right here. So, that's where I'd say the best opportunities are. The one that I think I bought, I can't recall. I doubled down on some long-term positions, even though I'm pretty sure I can get them cheaper in a few weeks, but TPR. I think I got too many to keep time of. Oh, maybe it was this big time one right here. I think it was this big time. Let me see. Yeah, this is a smaller one. So consolidation, I thought it was going to break out here, and I'll see if it actually continues to break out. But I was feeling the vibe about this breakout right here. So I did something stupid and preemptively bought just because I'm pretty busy. Don't be stupid like me and preemptively buy. But there are a lot of different things that here. I think this one was primarily because what I think it was just actually one of the lower traded volumes on here, or one of the lower prices, excuse me. All right, let me do this very fast and disable that. Okay. Anything else here that may be worth looking at? IOST seems to be okay. Again, everything here is popping. It's just that you're waiting for a consolidation moment. And I don't mean you just buy automatically as soon as I say this. Again, watch that consolidation, wait for the breakout after the consolidation, and then, so to speak, fish on. And then there you go. Anything else here? No. Yeah, there's just not as many as you would think at this point in time. There was a little bit more earlier last night, but all of those have pretty much popped off by now. I mean, last 24 hours, BitTorrent is up 182%. I don't think that's accurate. This seems weird. I don't know. I really don't know. That chart does not symbolize up 182% in the last 24 hours. Let's flip this around. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10. I have no idea what this is. The market cap is 134 million, 13 cents. This seems like more of a day trader's YOLO type of thing here. You can see the last 60 days, there's a little bit of a downtrend. If that breaks out, that could be something. But Hex, let's see. No, Hex is breaking down too much. You probably want to look at more technical analysis than this. But see, when you get these low, this one's actually not lower market caps here. Oops. Maybe this VVS Finance, there's one, and Polymath is going to be one. Polymath broke down that lower high, though. Dora Factory might be another one. But you guys are going to have to go through that list and kind of see which one works the best for you. Because as soon as it breaks out, again, this is a 4-hour chart with Matic. The breakout occurred right there. If you wanted to get down to the 15-minute chart. All right. Guess I have to be there. The breakout happened right here. That's about where you would buy, or you could buy the dip. Sometimes it dips back down, sometimes it doesn't. The majority of the time it does. And then you're riding the wave up and you're like 5, 6, maybe 7%. I didn't even sell at the very top here. I think I was using a Fibonacci. Yeah. Over there. It broke above the Fibonacci, then it kept on going higher. But same concept here, guys. That's really what you're aiming for, just so I can kind of teach you guys how to make some good money here. But this is actually breaking down at this point in time, isn't it? A little bit of a breakdown there. I wouldn't say anything too crazy, but we are now in a downtrend. So again, if you guys are looking for something to day trade, Matic's usually been something pretty good. Been doing very well. Let it break out, though. Don't chase this one. I'd probably, I mean, you could, but I'd recommend just waiting for a breakout. Breakouts are so much nicer to trade. All right, anything else popping up out of my screens right now? Mostly everything's down here. You got Sushi down. Again, but you didn't even see, Sushi had a breakout, eventually went higher here. Kind of sucks that it had this little bit of a lack of follow through there. Oh, this is a 4-hour chart. No, yeah. It sucks that we didn't have that real follow through there. UFO token consolidating a little bit more. That one looks kind of nasty to me just because it pumped up already so much. But overall, guys, we're in a pretty good spot. I'm just holding on and waiting for breakouts. Bitcoin technically already had this breakout and it kind of came back down. So I'm a little bit more iffy about buying Bitcoin at this specific price or this specific zone. If I go back over here, actually, maybe I should go to a 4-hour chart. And let me get this more precise for you guys so maybe we can see what's going on. Okay, got one down. Is there a middle spot right here? There you go. Now we can go to where we are now. Yeah, and you can see how we broke out and that follow through wasn't really there. Right there. Closed above the line. Crashed back down. Broke back up a line above the line because you guys know my saying. As soon as you break out, it gets more easier to do it. But I just want to be careful here as we're coming up against some big news. And yeah, we really have had this rally for a few weeks now. The next big event besides everything we talked about is inflation report dates. CPI release date November 10th. No, that's not right. Oh, that's 2022. November 14th. Okay. So November 14th is the date. That's Tuesday. I was a little bit confused, and I think it is Tuesday because normally we don't have them on Monday. There was another website that said it was coming out on the 13th, I think. That's why I was confused, I think, last week. Yeah. Yeah, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says it comes out November 13th, which is tomorrow. So that's what... Oh, that's 2024. Oh, my bad. Yeah, right there. November... It is November 14th. I don't know why. I totally skipped down to the bottom here. Okay, that's what my confusion was. All right, so it's November 14th, everybody. So get ready for more volatility around there. If you guys have a position open during that time, it's probably going to be best for you guys to be watching it like a hawk because it is going to be all over the place, to be frank. Let me freaking put this little Nightbot thing in timeout. Or I already turned that off. Yeah, I already turned it off. Okay, there we go. And what's right here? I want to do some day trading, just haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, this is going to be a risky time to do it. The worst time to start learning to day trade is when everything is pumping, and you don't have the basics down of like stop losses and price targets. You could practice with day trading. I would say go for it on paper trading accounts. So that means you, like down below I have a link to like Fairdesk, or there's a few other ones. You're basically just trading with fake money. You can never do, you could always use more practice, no matter what level you are. More practice with paper trading, especially if you're trying out different theories or strategies. It makes a difference just to practice it with fake money before risking your own, right? In LA, 40K wall added, so it's going to be a pretty hefty one, I would say, at this point. I don't see how this isn't a drop on Bitcoin ETF day. I would probably say we pop off the news, but for like the next 2 to 4 weeks after the news, we're probably in a really bad spot. We're probably in a really, really bad spot as far as the direction of Bitcoin. It's going to be coming down hard because, you know, again, a lot of the technicals over the past week have been saying going down and not up, but the price of Bitcoin has continued to move higher and higher and higher. And that's what's made it so much more difficult for actually doing all the technical analysis and things like that. The only way you look really bullish is if you kind of zoom out a little bit and you're like, okay, we just broke out here. We're still humming and buzzing. And then, you know, from there, anybody's guess. Oh, let's see right here very fast. Got a 15-minute chart. You know, and you can already see 15-minute chart. Crossover is happening. You're seeing that weakness. The 1 hour, those crossovers are happening. You're seeing that weakness. But at least in the hourly charts, it doesn't look like it's going to get bad until maybe tomorrow afternoon. But usually we end up breaking down below beforehand. So maybe tomorrow morning we might have some downside. If things are going to get bad, it'll happen sometime tomorrow morning. 2 hour. Getting real close to a crossover right there. 4 hour, getting close to breaking down below 20. We definitely need to have a little bit more of a move here. Otherwise, we're probably coming back down to at least, like, what did I say before? 36,700 or so. Probably going to be breaking down below that, then coming back down here to $36,000. So, you know, brace yourselves if things don't pop sometime in the next 24 hours. Altcoins are definitely where I'd prefer to be at this point and not so much Bitcoin. Altcoins seem to have a little bit more momentum at this point in time. Remember, stochastics over here, Bitcoin 4 hour going down, MACD coming down. But you look at stuff like Matic, you know, you're having their bullish crossovers, a little bit oversold territory, or excuse me, overbought territory, but that's okay. BNB, actually, this one's actually coming down a little bit more as well. It had a bullish oh, yeah, look at that crap. Momentum is still going down. What about Ape Token? A little bit more bullish. Some of these kind of chilies. Getting there, but more moderate. Loom, negative. Crow. Well, Crow's already had a huge freaking run. I'm not even going to try to look at that one, but this one has negative momentum as well. Ethereum Classic had that breakout, didn't do squat with it, which sucks. Even made a new low. I guess that would have been a day trader's thing, but who would have moved up their stop loss for that type of event? Bearish. It's just moderating a little bit. I mean, so yeah, there's still tons of altcoins that are still bearish and actually too by oscillator standards. If you want to get into Gala, you're going to have to wait for that breakout. So the breakouts are probably the easiest way to look at this. But you can see how the moving averages don't really have the same effect as they would on Bitcoin. Moving averages for Bitcoin are huge. Then I guess not so much for some of these altcoins. And hey, laugh and lose. Men watch superhero movies. Female lead roles won't sell. Oh, yeah, as far as the Marvels movie, I don't know. It never seemed interesting to me. I don't know. I've kind of lost interest with a lot of the Marvel movies. I like Kang a lot. I like that guy's great. I haven't watched the new movie, but I watched the rest of the Loki season 2, and I thought that was pretty good. Kind of like a high point for Marvel over the last few years, I would say. But I don't know. I haven't watched Disney stuff in a long time. Well, actually, no. I just actually canceled my Disney Plus subscription. I asked my sister if she ever used it, and she said no. So I was like, okay, I'll just cancel it. And then I think I still have Netflix and HBO Max and all the other stuff. But yeah, I ended up actually just canceling my Disney Plus subscription. Now that I think about it. What's right here? And hey, Monster, I don't know what Ben Key is. Let me know what it is. I can try to figure it out. I have finessed the piss out of these coins the last year. I mean, it's been pretty nice if you've been able to dollar cost average into them. If you guys didn't buy anything during this bear market, I mean, in fact, we could always crash back down with a bad economy next year. Anything's possible, but I thought we were going to go lower last year. And so I still held on to a lot of money. But my hedge, so to speak, as I put it, was I just dollar costed a lot of money into the market. So no matter what happens, I could make money. But I was hoping Bitcoin might go down to like 13,000, 14,000. I think worst case scenario, we talked about 10 to 12,000 if things got really, really bad. But that never happened. So now, I got to freaking hurry up and buy into altcoins at still not like crazy levels, but I'm dollar cost averaging into them. I pretty much haven't been doing as much dollar cost averaging since this boom happened, to be frank, because I hate chasing stuff. However, I think a lot of altcoins will come back down in the future, and I'll be able to buy some good stuff there. Remember, whenever Bitcoin eventually comes back down from this tumble, like even if it's here and we start coming back down, or if it's up here at the level of resistance around like 40,500, you are going to see a lot of altcoins just crash like 30 to 40 to 50%. And people are going to be freaking out all over again, and people are going to be mad, whatever. But that's why day traders really rule right now. The swing traders have already been getting out of their positions for a while now. But we haven't talked about really swing trading since back down here when we were hitting support, or during this breakout that occurred, or through this breakout occurred, because remember, Bitcoin broke out, altcoins did shit or nothing. And then they eventually took off once their technical said, hey, let's do it. There you go. Yeah, but Bitcoin, it looks fine right now. I know every time I put on that 4-hour chart, you're looking at it like creep over, right? But so far we're managing to hold. Because remember, last candle we were here, or chilling out just like that before. Waiting patiently. And you can definitely see we've had some momentum here, but not enough to keep Bitcoin. Almost like there's a little bit of a wall right here around 37,419 of all places. But hey. Thoughts on Caspa? Let's see. Like a mini Bitcoin at this point. I mean, it did have that breakout down here, and that did let it soar. I'm gonna look a little bit longer term. Oh yeah, there it is right there. That was a perfect selling opportunity. Heck, I guess if you buy from here, you probably wouldn't want to sell here or here. You probably for a larger move. But it still looks pretty good at this point. I would let it cook for a little bit, let it get a little bit of consolidation. Let me go over here to that 2-hour chart, or excuse me, the 1-hour chart. Breaking down on the 1 hour just a tad. Not terrible, but yeah, I would still say the same thing. I would not be trading this until you see a pretty good breakout out of a pretty established level of resistance. At this point, I wouldn't be happy if it broke out like this. I wouldn't be happy about that breakout. Oh, actually, it broke out right there, didn't it? I wouldn't be happy with these types of smaller breakouts. I want to see a little bit more of a substantial breakout there, or just some type of significant pattern that I can trust now. Because as I'm looking at this, it's coming back down to support. It looks like it wants to break down below that support and then possibly make another low kind of down here by 83 cents. Or excuse me, 0.083 cents. And then maybe that'll be a better opportunity. Let's go over here to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, maybe if it comes back down here, you might have some semblance of a double bottom or so, but I'd be careful of this one for now. This one, yeah, this one might be coming back down here to at least 0.083. Again, which isn't a massive loss, but it's a significant one if you day trading with leverage here. Yeah, I'd give it a few more, at least a couple days here. Maybe at the minimum a day to kind of see where it wants to go. Unless it wants to pop out of nowhere, but heck, that's always a hard thing to gamble on, right? And hey, B Gotti, I like that name. What do you call? Welcome to the Reveal of Man. Let me know if you have any questions. And hey, what's my opinion on any good gaming launchpad tokens? I'm looking for at S-Fun, Gamepad, and PokeStarter. I don't know much about the research on that. Let me go over here to coinmarketcap.com and Loki's over here trying to that's fun. There you go. Loki's trying to get attention. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. Loki. Yeah, there you go. Don't know why he's like this right now. He's been sleeping all day. It's been like wet and dark and all types of stuff, so he hasn't been going outside much. He's been going to the beach for the past few weeks, and now all of a sudden he can't go for a few days in a row. Alright. I think he's good. I think he just wanted to play. Oh, not that one. That one's guides and tutorials. Yeah, here we go for the middle display. Alright. Let's see. So you said this is oh, there's multiple websites here. Launchpad. Enter the gateway of blockchain gaming. Oh, it's on KuCoin. That's good. Okay, it's on a bunch of exchanges. That's good. The market cap was oh, there it is. 78 million. Okay, so this isn't too much. Yeah, this is not something that's expensive by any means. And the price was $1.46. That's not too bad. Token raise. Wait, so I'm trying to figure out what the heck it is, and it's not really having a lot of stuff on the main website. Okay, white paper. Okay, so it's a way for people to get into early stage opportunities in the blockchain space. Okay, if that's the case, I think there's a spot there. I wouldn't put more than maybe a couple $100 into it, but usually if you can find a way to get have the allure of making other people money, people are usually pretty happy with it. So I would say, yeah, it looks fine to me on the long term. Might wait for it to come back down a little bit more over the next few weeks before you really start heavily dollar cost averaging into it, though. What's right here? Hey, Mike, would you take Solana profits in 2025 but into Bitcoin in the bear market, or just hold into Solana into 2030? It really depends on the portfolio. You can think if historically it'd be worth scaling out, but when I'm looking at Bitcoin or anything out there, let me go over here to this Bitcoin chart because it's a little bit longer. For those of you guys that have been here for a while, you guys know this is my usual thought plan here. Whenever Bitcoin goes into these, or actually, let me just go over here to the daily chart. It won't look as nice, but it'll be fine. Whenever Bitcoin goes into all-time highs, why is this a cross? Whenever we go into all-time highs, like right there, or right here, or right here, or all the way back over there, over there, whatever. Whenever I get into those spots, I'm usually already looking to scale off a large percentage of my my block portfolio of what I am really going into heavily during a bear market, and then what I plan to sell towards the end of a bull market. If I have a separate portfolio for like retirement or 10-year, 20-year type of holds, that's a whole different thing. That's not even on that's all cold storage type of stuff, right? But for things like this, where you're thinking about different ways of making money, typically this is what I do. When Bitcoin has these all-time highs, eventually things start to die off, right? You see a few weeks of it going sideways, the pump has pretty much lost all of its luster, and then we start looking at a death cross between the 20-day and the 50-day. Usually around that time, I'm pretty much selling the majority of my cryptocurrencies. Now, the key here is to not just follow Bitcoin, but also follow the technicals of whatever you're holding. So a good example is back over here in 2021, or back over here in April 2021 or November 2021. Let me go over here very fast. And let me just put over in... Where be Solana? There you go. This is a weekly chart. This is a daily chart. On this all-time high, or this death cross, I should say death cross, was Saturday the 27th of November. Okay. There we go. And the previous one right here was about Monday, April 26th. All right. Okay, so this was kind of weird because we normally don't have these like two peaked bull markets where we have like a high, major crash, another high. Usually it's pretty dramatic and we just kind of keep on coming down slowly, and then crypto winter, buy everything there, you know, rinse and repeat, so to speak. But let's go over here to this first one here. First one, Solana first. Jesus. In hindsight, this was an okay opportunity to sell. Oh yeah, let me just kind of show you that. You had an opportunity to sell over here, kind of around $210, and the price eventually dropped all the way down to $8. Now, this kind of had some external circumstances because of what was going on with all the exchanges and stuff, but that's usually my plan. And then I'll kind of restart buying, and I won't buy like sometimes you get lucky and you buy Solana at $8 or whatever, but most of the time you're going to be buying at $29, $30, maybe down here to $18, maybe down here, you have another opportunity, $15, whatever. You'll have an opportunity to buy a lot cheaper. Back over here, you'll see this one, it didn't have the same effect here. Again, it was kind of weird how all this happened, but in a smaller hindsight, it was still an okay opportunity. So I would say the best thing that I like to do is just scale out. The thing about this upcoming bull market is, are we going to have Bitcoin having this two top system like this? Or are we going to have a traditional one where we go up a lot, crash, go up a lot, crash, go up a lot, crash, right? Go up a lot, crash. I'm not entirely sure. I would bet on the traditional system winning out here unless something really crazy happened. But institution should level things out a little bit, I would hope. But usually when I'm thinking of selling, it's usually during that time frame. So I can go to any crypto token here that I'm looking at. Ethereum Classic. Oops, not that one. You put on this other chart. Ethereum Classic. And I guess the second one was November 8th. The week of November 8th. Okay, that's fine. Jesus, okay, where the heck is this? Oh, this is a daily chart, that's why. Okay, so this is where the second peak was when, as far as Ethereum Classic. The first one, which was... Oh, I'm not even talking about peaks, which is this one right here. Still around the same time frame, I would assume here. Death Cross, April 27th. There you go. Death Cross was happening right during this time, okay? So you see the breakout, you can continue to buy into it, or you can continue to trade it, excuse me. But you know, in hindsight, usually you're going to be happy with anything you sell over here, or even over here, rather than where the bottom ends up being for that bear market. So the way I would still frame it is, I would usually like to sell kind of around that time where you're seeing the death cross happen on the 20-day and the 50-day. For those longer term things with Solana, I would have some Solana that I'd be holding in for a long time. I would have some Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, you know, a lot of these larger market cap ones. Pretty good. And then I would also just buy like 20 bucks worth of something if you like it a little bit. 20 bucks of that, 10 bucks of that, 30 bucks of that. You know, you can have a lot of small investments. Like, I think for those of you guys that are getting into cryptocurrencies now, if you guys go over to, what did we talk about last week? Like Kraken or crypto.com, and you just start buying up a whole bunch of things, like $5 worth of this crypto, $10 worth of this crypto, and just let it sit and don't touch it like for decades, you're going to make some pretty good profits off of it. The only thing is, what happens when regulation really kicks in and a lot of these tokens aren't really doing anything of importance? Are they allowed to be there? Or do they have to apply to be on an exchange? All that type of stuff. That's going to be the whole type of effect that happens. But again, that's why you'd only be putting a few bucks into each one of those. It might add up to be a little bit of good amount of money, but the majority of your money is going to like Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, things like that. And back up to the Bitcoin chart. There we go. If only Bitcoin could really have a nice... Oh, this was set up on the 4-hour chart, I think. Yeah, it's fun. Let's pop that up. Let's pop that up. And even Bitcoin's hitting support levels right now. Most banks don't like it. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, here's what I think. If the system, and by the system I pretty much mean like Wall Street, if Wall Street can find a way to make money off of this, they will. They will then lobby government to do their bidding, and the government will do so because the government will say, okay, well, this means they could rationalize it like this. We're going to get campaign donations. That's going to be kind of cool, right? And then on top of that, they're like, well, I could sell this to my constituents. More crypto jobs, you know, bringing back the American dream through blockchain technology. We're changing the world. America's #1 at crypto technology, blockchain, whatever. There's going to be an easy way for the politicians to sell it. You could already, I mean, you could think of it now. Like, I just took a couple seconds and maybe not the best answers, but heck, they're going to get funding from Wall Street executives, right? And then really they're going to say, hey, we're building jobs. We're giving, or we're growing the economy. Just everything that you could think of growing the economy. That's what they're going to try to do with all this. It's going to take some time. I know there's a battle going on, but the majority of senators who are really against crypto, I don't know how much longer they're going to be there. Perhaps like here. I know Elizabeth Warren doesn't like it. Politico. Elizabeth Warren is building an anti-crypto army. Some conservatives are on board. See, you know. Let's see. Senator Roger Marshall, the Kansas Republican who co-sponsored Warren's legislation, right? So it's not even, it's more left, more people from the left don't like crypto because of all the scams that go around with it, and there's a lot of scams. But you got people like this, Marshall, I don't know. I don't think him and Warren agree on many things, but I guess they don't really like cryptocurrencies. And then you got Sherrod Brown of Ohio. He will probably get voted out because I think Ohio has kind of turned more into like a red-leaning state, I think. And so he's probably not going to survive there. But even if he stays or whatever, you know, it's still going to be difficult. I think there'll be some grand compromise, but I think cryptocurrency's here to stay, and they may drag their feet, but there's not much they can do. Heck, Gary Gensler has been dragging his feet for like over 2 years now, and the courts are finally forcing him to do something. Crypto is the future, only 15 years old. I mean, again, that the easiest way you guys can make money in cryptocurrencies is not to learn how to day trade. It's not to learn how to swing trade. It's putting money towards longer term investments like Ethereum, like Bitcoin, like Dogecoin, like ADA, Bitcoin Cashmatic. I mean, I'm just listing stuff off at low market caps, high market caps, of course, but do due diligence as far as like what you're actually looking, like the company looks at. Don't buy the weird Inu thing out there that, like, you know, that sounds like a scam, but you believe it's not a scam for some reason. You just have to find a good place to buy them and hold them. And that's been the scary thing for so many investors because of what happened with FTX and Celsius and things like that. Crypto.com and Kraken seem to be the best places right now for buying spot trades and doing that. Primarily, a lot of people that I know that like to trade, a lot of the stuff we trade, we make profits off of it. We just add it to long-term positions because we're thinking it's going to help us out a lot more down in life, right? Now, of course, I take money out to, like, you know, live my life and stuff like that. But, you know, there's no real pressure to start now. But the best thing you can do is to just start dollar cost averaging. And then if you want to, you could sell at the height of a bull market. And then you could take like thousands of percent profits. That's usually what I prefer to do. You pay your taxes on those, and then you rinse and repeat during the next bull market, while also just having a small pot that you just don't touch ever. Remember, when I was talking about Dogecoin a couple years ago, I told everybody, frankly, I was going to sell half of my Dogecoin at 50 cents. And I was going to do another 10% at 60 cents, another 10% at 70 cents, then another 10 at 80 up until $1. Then I'd be like pretty much all out of Dogecoin. We never really hit that spot, so I'm just holding on to my Dogecoin right now. And now, you know, I bought a little bit more since then. But next bull market that rolls around, I'm not going to sell the 100% of my Dogecoin. I'm probably going to sell like 80% of it or something. Then you could always buy more down the next cycle. But you guys just have to remember you're paying taxes on all this stuff. Unless you guys find another country to live in. Who knows? By the time I'm going to try to leave America, not next year, but the year after, because I want to make sure my sister's still good and everything with college. You know, I'm going to be an American citizen still. I'm probably going to be paying American taxes or the taxes of in Ecuador or Bali or wherever I end up moving to, or heck, even Nicaragua, right? But I'm going to try to find the cheapest place for crypto out there and make it a nice little move. Not the cheapest place, but some of that I like at the same time. Like if cryptocurrency is not allowed in Nicaragua or like Bolivia, whatever, that means they can't tax me on it, but I can pay taxes for everything else. So I would have to pay some nice fancy tax attorney about that, but I would love to figure that type of stuff out. Besides investing and holding little by little, do you think copy trading, various good traders can also generate some good passive income? Yeah, so the thing about copy trading is that it's a good way to make passive income, but even traders like me, we really struggle in high volatility moments. I did a video about, or I talked about this guy on Fairdesk, and most major exchanges have them. So if I go over here to copy trade, I go to rankings. You'll see this guy, Virtual Bacon, okay? He has a 72% rate, 55% rate. He's a really big YouTuber. Runs a nice YouTube channel, 157,000 subscribers, a huge channel out there. You know, has popular videos, all that type of stuff. A few weeks ago, he lost, oops, well, it doesn't matter here. He had a bunch of bad trades as Bitcoin was going higher and higher because he kept on shorting the market. And I shorted the market, same thing. So not terrible what he did, but well, here you can see a couple of the plays here. He made some losses right here, and so you see like $1,000 here, $1,000 there, $1,000. Sometimes you just get hit slam like this: 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 11,000, 4,000. And it doesn't make up for like $100 days, $200 trades, you know. So like a long-term thing, it can work out. But what makes paper trading so difficult is people don't truly understand how copy trading works. Copy trading requires you to have a pretty decent amount of money in your account, or your trades are so small that if you lose 5 or 10 trades in a row, you're not supposed to be freaking out about it. Most people overdo their accounts, and so they can make a lot of money really fast, or they could lose a lot of money really fast, even if they don't think they can. So the proper thing is just to really learn how to do it. The easiest way I've seen people make money is not through paper trading, but it's just through earning programs. So, you let them hold on to your crypto for a little bit and savings account basically, and they give you a good APY for it. A lot of times it's through exchange tokens. They want you to hold their own exchange tokens, and you can make some money doing that. But copy trading is a good way. Usually copy trading, follow them with like $100, follow them for a month and see what happens to it. And then if it doesn't do well, you can pull your money out, follow somebody else, but start off with that $100 and then move that $100 around until you find somebody that's making you money consistently. Just understand that if you don't like what they're doing, as far as like they have an open trade and you feel like it's going to go the other way, don't feel bad about just closing the position. And even if it does work out and it would have made money, it's okay. Just say, hey, I don't like the way this trade's going. I'm just going to pull the plug. Because most of the time, the trade will keep on going until it either liquidates or until the other person says, okay, I'm giving up on this particular trade. Because there are traders out there like, I have one account where I do scalping and one account where there's other types of trades. But if you go over here to this guy, Yin Yang Wolf, this guy scalps. You see those numbers? $2, $1, $2, $1, right? 8x, I don't even know what the hell. Oh, must be trading Bitcoin or something. Yeah, Bitcoin. Small ones. He had a nice one right here, $259. But where is it at? I'm not used to looking at this screen. Sorry. Oh yeah, so his 7-day profit is $344. The follower profit is $1,400. So a lot of people like this one because he's pretty accurate and it kind of goes up over time. That's one way of going about it. But you'll see that he does. I'm trying to figure out the times here. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Ugh. This is like this is all within 1 day. So 12. This is 3 a day, 2 a day, 2 days. He's actually slowed down a little bit here. 3 a day, maybe 4 a day if we go back to the last page. You're going to have to tune your own settings to kind of match his, because let's say he has a bad day. Let's say he makes a bad trade. Okay. 96 right here. Okay. To him, this is losing $96 or $100 or $300, whatever. But if you just put too much money behind this, because you're thinking that, hell, he's making a lot of money. If I just put more money in it and have a higher leverage than he's doing and all that type of stuff, you'll notice that you're going to crash out your entire account really fast, and then it takes a long time for it to build back up with these small types of gains. But overall, his account will be growing. Uh-oh, Bitcoin broke down. Going back to that next leg. Now you're seeing altcoins coming back down here as well. Pepe is down 3.5%. All right, off to that next level of support. Let's see what happens here. What are we doing? There you go. And hey, yep, Bitcoin's still been outperforming everybody. Remember, I mean, you got to remember how many people thought this thing was going to die over and over and over again. And then what happened? All of a sudden, CNBC and Fox Business and Yahoo and Bloomberg, all of a sudden they have, they're starting to talk about it more and more. And now they have tickers showing Bitcoin prices. Now when Bitcoin has to pop, they have to talk about it because there's money involved now. And they have to follow the money. At the beginning, they said, I don't like this. Bitcoin's all a scam. Bitcoin's going to zero. Even like prominent people out there, if you want to call them prominent, they were like, Bitcoin's not going to be here. Heck, right before Bitcoin started to rally a few months ago and like really start to pop up, Jim Cramer, who is regarded as a very respected guy on Wall Street, he was saying Bitcoin's going to be going down even further. Like it's going to zero. Like these people don't understand cryptocurrency. They don't understand charts, and they just don't understand how new this is and how young. I would say young is probably the best way to describe it. We're getting at cryptocurrency on the bottom floor for the most part. Historically, you're gonna call this the bottom floor. In reality, we're like, up a step or two on the ladder. But if you buy and hold, you're going to be just fine. But buying and holding is not exciting. But you know, I'm going to come out with a video sometime this week talking about why I would recommend buying Bitcoin and gold. And the process here is this, or the thought process is this. Remember during the beginning of the stream, we talked about what was going on with the economy, how we just can't seem to not spend, overspend, I would say. Eventually that ticking time bomb of a debt crisis is going to blow up in our faces. I think that's where Bitcoin really comes into play, because I think America's currency is going to go through some type of drastic event. I don't know exactly what's going to happen here. I think it's going to be something more of a drastic side. And it's going to cause a lot of chaos out there. That chaos is going to be where Bitcoin really thrives. Because I'm one of those people who's kind of weird. Some people buy Bitcoin because the stock market's going up and all that type of stuff. I buy Bitcoin because I expect the economy to just freaking go into like oblivion. And hey, Crypto Lifer, thank you very, very much, man. I appreciate you liking my style very much. I've talked to you before, or somebody that has your name. I am absolutely sure of it. I have a bad memory, but I know I've talked with you before. Thanks, Crypto Lifer. I really, really do appreciate it, my man. I don't own any Bitcoin, but want to put altcoins profits into Bitcoin when altcoins reach all-time high. You sound like my friend Tom Crown. He has a YouTube channel that's a little bit larger than mine. I think he has like 4,000 subs more than mine. Really good guy. He always likes to trade altcoins and puts the profits into Bitcoin because he's what you call a Bitcoin maxi. He buys other stuff besides Bitcoin, but he is the most pro Bitcoin person out there. Like, if I don't know his portfolio size, but I would guess his portfolio is like at least 95 to 99% Bitcoin. And then he has a whole bunch of fun stuff he's bought over the years and hasn't really done much with it. But the majority of his stuff is all in Bitcoin. But every time he makes a profit, some of that money goes into Bitcoin because he's like, Bitcoin's the future, Bitcoin's the future, Bitcoin's the future. Which, I mean, I believe it'll be a great help. I don't know about the future, but it's going to be huge. And it's a vehicle for a lot of people to make money if they can be patient. And the patience is going to be the real hard part here because there's going to be so much uncertainty in the world. Heck, you know, who would have thought a couple of years ago, you know, COVID was ending, everything was opening up, everybody was very optimistic. Who would have thought we'd almost be staring down like World War III, where Israel's like, retaliating after they were invaded by Gaza. You know, that debacle will be going on right now. Russia invading Ukraine and then not being able to win the war easily. A whole bunch of crap's going on in the world. Just imagine what's going to happen in the next like 3, 10, 15, 20 years. It's going to be fun. Going to be fun. Apparently a lot of Americans are moving over to Portugal. I mean, I've heard Portugal is pretty nice. I have friends out there, and I have friends whose parents and families live out there. Nice weather. Sorry, Loki's over here just trying to sniff me up. Hey. He wants a treat, but I don't have a treat for him. All of his treats are always upstairs. And he looks at me, he's like all depressed and sad. There you go. Booba-dooba-da. Yeah. I think he's just bored, and he doesn't like when I talk to you guys. He's jealous of all the attention. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to move to Europe. I just want to move to like either Latin America, or like Central America, South America, or I want to move over to Asia. I don't really have a massive preference. It's usually just what's the easiest place to travel to where I could take Loki there by boat for the most part, because I don't want to fly. I have like a terrible phobia because of my anxiety of Loki being like lost or stolen at the airport, and I just don't want to deal with that, especially like, you know, leaving from Seattle and having to, like, everywhere is far away from Seattle from where I want to go. And so I'm looking at chartering like a nice yacht or something for like $10,000, $20,000 to get us from California to Nicaragua, California to Ecuador, or perhaps going from Texas to Panama, then from Panama to somewhere else. I mean, who knows? But yeah, it's a freaking struggle to find a place to find a way to get Loki down there. But I'm about to go through a travel agent and like pay them like $500 to like just do a bunch of searches and shit for me, because I have the time for it, but I don't have the will for it. I just want to pay pay somebody to do it. Oh man. Anyway, Landon, I hope you're doing well, man. Best analyst out there. I appreciate it. It's been a good week or good few weeks for people on YouTube. I noticed the views go up. Everybody's talking. Everybody has a really good mood about cryptocurrencies right now because over the past year, you know, when we had that consolidation for a few months, everybody got really stale on Bitcoin, but at least we were still at, you know, $25,000, $30,000, a lot better than where we were back in the FTX debacle. All roads lead to Bitcoin, Michael Saylor. Yep. And look, you know, I mean, that guy, I mean, at least him and his company are just going to be absolutely wealthy one day because he's going to keep on buying and buying and buying and buying. And they're going to do great. I don't exactly know how they make money outside of buying Bitcoin. I should probably figure that out because I see him everywhere, but I don't really listen to his well, he doesn't talk about his company too much. He talks about where he sees the market overall going, and that's usually why I like listening to him. But if you want to be motivated to buy Bitcoin, Michael Saylor is right there for you. And remember, we do have a slowing down of the economy. There is a thought out there that with the slowing down of the economy, we may have interest rates come down, even if inflation stays above 2%, because Jerome Powell is going to be under pressure by the administration, you know, Janet Yellen, Joe Biden, all those people, to start lowering rates to make the economy seem a little bit better in time for election season. Every president will put pressure on the Fed. It's not just like they're doing it. But if he starts to lower rates because the economy's slowing, or maybe we go into a minor recession, whatever, you may see that Bitcoin has a huge pump because of those lower rates, which I'm pretty excited for. I don't know if Jerome Powell had, like I said before, has the cojones to really continue to keep on hiking everything up as needed, but you know, we'll see. The sad thing about Jerome Powell is no matter what he does, it almost doesn't matter to a certain degree unless Washington D.C. stops overspending, and I don't see them stopping spending anytime soon, right? And so when you look at the overall debt and things like that, like U.S. debt, is this it? I mean, that chart doesn't lie. I mean, what are we gonna do? Oh man, I'm like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I mean, at least if you go back to the last 25 years, you can see above my head 2000. You know, 2020 COVID kicked everything off. But you know, after COVID was over, you thought maybe things would be a little bit more stagnant because we had like 3 different levels here. 2005 right here, 2008, whatever. This is kind of like the wartime and financial crisis. It was going up, but things was kind of under control. I mean, you could imagine a slope that could have happened as we come back down. 2008 comes around, new president. We want a whole bunch of new stuff. Americans want stuff, but they don't want to pay for it. So it's kind of like an America problem too, not just politicians. Obama passes new laws. They cost a lot more, as you guys might imagine. And then, you know, the debt starts going up and up and up and up and up. Starts to get a little bit lower, starts to kind of even off here, right? 2015, 2016. 2016, we have tax cuts. Boom, we go up a little bit further. COVID happens, and the big pop. And of course, I guess what is like the infrastructure deal, Green New Deal, and just like overspending on a lot of the small things here. You know, Ukraine wars, all that type of stuff. We are just like, there's no disaster happening right here, but yet we're still popping off, right? We thought about it here, thought about it maybe here, but each time it's like pop. And then that's why you have to go back and look at the chart. It just, doesn't that look depressing? Imagine that was your credit card and you just saw the bill going up and up and up, and then you're like, oh, maybe I should stop spending. Nah, I want that new ring. It's depressing in to a certain degree, but you know, it's not going to be a doomsday scenario when it eventually pops. But I mean, there'll be a whole bunch of pain, and there's probably going to be a new player out there because when the American dollar goes pop, who do we turn to? America won't let us turn to the Chinese yuan or the European euro or the Russian ruble. I don't know, nothing like that, right? I would say cryptocurrency is a pretty good bet for where they may have to turn to. And then maybe we'll all be having cryptocurrencies, and maybe those cryptocurrencies will be valued differently from the dollar somehow. And then we have another currency like that. And then maybe everything can go from there. Again, that's a total guess by me, but I mean, you just look at that debt. It's just, it's wild. It's absolutely crazy. Is there a chart here for... No, that's not, okay. I thought I could find a chart here on TradingView. I'm pretty sure it exists, but I don't know how to find it. Excuse me. Lifer is the man. I watch him every morning. That's okay. See, I knew I remembered him from somewhere because he's been here more than once. I guarantee he's been here more than once. Oh, and hey Puma, what's up? Jose, Costa Rica. Either the only reason I said no to Costa Rica is when I'm looking at maps and where I want to live, it was because of hurricanes. I think it was hurricanes. Like if I go over here to Google Earth, take my sip of water. Okay. Oh, it has a new look to it. Okay. Oh yeah, this is one place I was looking at living too. See, Salinas. So, you know, I live up here, but I want to either move over here to this place in Mexico, Merida, or Cancun. Those are kind of at the bottom of my list, but they're places where I can get a boat to them, basically. Nicaragua over here, and there's San Juan del Sur right there. There's an option. This was my original choice, and it's coming back up a little bit here since I'm having trouble finding places to get Loki to. Costa Rica right here. Oh no, did you say Costa Rica? Let's see. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, Costa Rica's here. Never mind. I don't know why I didn't think of Costa Rica. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. There's something else over here that's making me think of Puerto Rico. Never mind. There you go. I'm not moving to Puerto Rico. Costa Rica actually sounds fine. There's some places over here I looked up. I haven't looked at anything in the south. And then Panama. I didn't know Panama was shut down. I know there's some problems happening with the waterway here. Maybe a slowing down of the economy would make it really affordable for me to get a house or something, or rent a house. And then probably a dark way of thinking is the economic way of thinking. And then Ecuador over here. This is one of my favorites. There's a place over here called Quito, and over here there's a place called Cuenca next to Quito. I don't know where the heck that is. Well, somewhere over here there's a place called Cuenca where a lot of expats live. I was thinking about that, but then I remembered I want to be next to water. So it's either going to be over here at Salinas, or I get myself a condo, but I have to visit this place because it seems like there's a lot of it's not developed as much as I would like it to be. So they got more of a developed... see, even over here it doesn't feel as developed. Can I not drag anybody over here? Okay, whatever, that's fine. And the other one over here, which I'm more likely to go to, is Manta. More of a larger city area, but still not as developed as I would like. But I might just get a house over here and just chill out by the beach every day. That's pretty much my goal. There's some, gated areas over here. Nice little house. Stream with you guys, and I'll be fine. As long as I can stream, I don't really care where I live, as long as it's safe and it's a good quality of life type of place. And Bitcoin continues to break down here, guys. Let's go back to the 15 here. Really, the concern isn't that it's breaking down so much. It's that, they pushed us down right before the end of the 4-hour candle. That's what was going on here. But what do you call it? 36,000. We're doing okay. Get ready for probably a retest of this 36,700 levels. And then from there, if we continue to break down, we're most likely coming back down here to 36,000. Won't be too much fun. I would say this kind of signals in part, unless we have some type of larger move going on this week, that we're most likely going to be coming back down here to 35,000, 34,000 levels. So just be careful here. Your altcoins are probably going to be in more of a pain than Bitcoin. This really doesn't... coming back down to 34,000, 35,000. It's not like a bad thing. I want to say that, but people that are trading are going to feel like it's a really bad thing because the altcoins are going to drop in value and they're going to really panic here. But again, Bitcoin at 36,000, 34,000, 33,000 even, it's still a good price. But get ready for a little bit of a dip here. It seems like we are definitely giving up some ground right now. And hey, D's, go to Bali, Mike. It's literally 15 cents to 20 cents on the dollar. Oh, I know. It's not, the price isn't the problem. Most of these places are pretty darn cheap, except for maybe Cancun. The thing is, how can I get Loki over there? Like, I'm willing to go on a cruise ship over to anywhere. Excuse me. I saw there were cruises that take you from Seattle or Alaska all the way to Japan. So if I could boat over there, fine, but the flying and the plane is going to be the hard part here. And I think somebody was just talking about a private small plane won't be cheap, but maybe around $15,000. Well, yeah, if I can get a plane for $15,000 to Nicaragua or Ecuador or whatever, because my whole plan here is like, you know, if I go to Ecuador, or if I go to Nicaragua, I'll live there for a while, but then I'll go to Panama. Then I'll go to Costa Rica. Then I'll go to Ecuador. I don't mind hopping places, you know, because it's a lot easier to hop those places. But if I go to Bali, then I'll be moving to the Philippines at one point, then Thailand at one point, then maybe Vietnam at one time. So it's going to be all hovering around, moving around quite a bit. But you know, maybe a couple of trips every back to America. But you know, I could leave Loki in Bali by himself. Well, not by himself, but like with a maid or something. That's fine. But yeah, definitely have to get ready for all that type of stuff. Bali for me too. I mean, Bali is a nice place. See, I'm gonna be real, Mike. If the U.S. spends like this, the U.S. is gonna have 69 trillion in debt. That's gonna make Elon laugh for sure. But I mean, you know, we aren't able to stop spending like this, though. We're not able to. When we see a recession at the end of the next year, Bitcoin will dip the moon. We have to see. It's so weird to me because remember, we already had a recession, and I'm almost thinking that this recession and this big boom is like a post-recession boom by how I define, you know, recessions. Remember, we had those two. Is this the right one? Yeah. Remember last year, we had 2 negative quarters of GDP. We had the recession. But, this is where my tinfoil hat theory comes on. There was a big election going on that year, and they did not want to see MAGA come back into the picture, especially when after the January 6th stuff, right? So, that's my tinfoil hat theory. Don't try to say that's fact or anything like that. But, like, by any modern definition, we had a recession. I think everybody was kind of gaslit into saying, well, it wasn't really a recession because we had jobs. So we may go into one again, but I mean, look at this. Look at it. 4.9, the most recent one, to jump almost to 5. I mean, that's a massive pop right there. Now, in the past, we did go from 7 to -2, so really anything's possible here. But you know, I'll be shocked if we see something like that happen again. Let's go to the last 10 years. Oh, let's go 25. Then let's go column. Right, COVID here, the small one that we had right there. 2008 was right there. We had a dip, then it paused, and then it went and dipped again. So again, it's not like a recession is out of the equation. But man, if we went into a recession, would they talk about it? I mean, honestly, would they talk about it? I don't know. And if they like deny a recession is there, what goes on? Because now we have the presidential election coming up here pretty soon, and like we just said on CNBC, Tim Scott just dropped out of the race. I don't think anybody was going to vote for him, but he seems like a nice guy, or that's what everybody says at least. See, they're already in the works on the coin. Oh yeah, the government. Oh yeah, they are. But see, they're gonna have. I don't want that coin tied to the dollar. I want that coin to be a hard standard coin where it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. But you know, it's I guess I would just want to have a hard cap on how many of those tokens would be out there. Even if you take the amount of money that's in the US dollars in circulation right now, and you just put that as the number for these new stable coins the government's going to come out with, don't ever raise it anymore. That'd be nice. But eventually they're gonna raise it just because it's the government. So it's the only thing they know how to do. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hey, Discount. Hey, Mike, I was so excited Matic hit over 92 earlier, but now it's coming back down. I know, right? What did I say, though? I said I sold my Matic, and it's going to pump up one more time because I always sell a little bit too early. And then what happened? Pooh! Pop back up, and then now it's coming back down. But I guess that's why you got to scale out and, do your little due diligence there. But I'm definitely happy Matic because when I was telling people like, oh, I'm going to buy Matic a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, come on, please let this do something. Please let this do something. Because whenever I say I'm buying something, I like to check on it every now and again, right? And if I check it on every stream and it's not doing anything, I'm just like, okay, let's just keep going. Because it never hit the stop loss. We just kind of waited. And then it finally took off. Same thing with, what was the other one? Loom, I think it was. Loom was a little bit more recent than Matic, but do I even actually have Loom on here anymore? I should. It's just lost somewhere. Loom. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and it finally had that pop. No, that wasn't even the pop. I think the Loom pop was right here. Yeah, we bought this. I think we were playing the breakout game, I think. See, this is why I like having the records of everything, because I can go back and say, let me see. 1019. Oh, I bought it on the crash. Never mind. I was trying to catch the falling knife. Got lucky on that one, but I ended up doing okay. Yeah, I had that nice little upward move. And it's still in this uptrend here, but this thing is really nasty. That's really, really nasty. Yeah. A lot of these tokens have been having some really wild moves, but it's been good overall. On the daily chart here, you can see Bitcoin's, we got a new day. You really want to see bulls come in here, like I said, over the next 24 hours. Like, really want them to come in here. Otherwise, we're going to be dropping pretty big down to, I see before $36,000. Now we're at $36,890 now. So that'd be like a 1,000-point drop. But again, you think about what we've been experiencing over the past few months. Since the highs, we're down about $1,000. Throughout this whole process here, we had dips that went down $1,800. Dips that went down $1,800 again. Even over here before the massive breakout, we had dips go down about $1,900. So people are going to freak out a lot, but we'll have to see. I guess you could always look at a different trend line here, but to me, it's all about that 20-day moving average. If we're breaking down below that, that's when I consider this whole rally over, and we're in a longer-term consolidation where there's a lot more pain ahead. And it's not the end of the world, but oh my gosh, people are going to act like, going back down to 35,000 or 34,000 Bitcoin is like the doom. So we'll have to wait and see. But definitely looks like buying at this level is going to be a little bit more difficult now, unless you want to buy these dips here, which I still think is fine, but it's more of a day trader's market than a swing trader's market, even at this point. I was so optimistic this morning or earlier today when you had this pop. I was like, oh, maybe something's actually going to happen. Nope. Got rejected pretty darn handily here. Instead of printing money, it will all be digital numbers. I mean, yeah, I guess that's that's true. But again, when America's financial crisis happens, whenever this next one happens with a national debt, imagine what happens to the rest of the world, because the whole worldwide financial system is going to be thrown into massive chaos. And so, like, the euro is going to be in danger, the pound's going to be in danger, the Chinese yuan's going to be in danger, because we all trade. Maybe the ruble will be okay, but I mean, it's not even okay position right now. I would move to Bali, but the wife doesn't like the cozy beach life. From what I've heard, it's a very nice place, and I like Bali a lot from the pictures I've seen and the people I've talked to. The thing about Bali is though, like I'd be vacationing a lot at other places. So like I live at Bali, but I'd be going to the Philippines with the weekend with Loki, have rent an Airbnb over there. You go to Airbnb on your app and type in Bali. They have some really nice villas there, and just search like per month. It's fairly cheap. It's fairly cheap. Ooh, Thai food is very, very good. Double dare. I like a specific type of Thai food, but Thai food overall I think is pretty good. I like their not entrees, their appetizers really well. Noodles, I don't know. I've always been more of a Chinese noodle type of guy. Anywhere you get Loki to, you can hire transport and bring them wherever you are by car. I just find the closest port to where you want to be, and then hire a transport to take you to your place. Oh yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm with Loki throughout the entire process of traveling. That's the hard thing. Like, if they want to take him on the back of a cargo plane and I'm in the back of the cargo plane with him, I don't care. I'll do that. But I don't want to leave him alone. That's my nightmare scenario. Like, I will not move somewhere unless I know I can be with Loki the entire way, right? Even if he's the bottom of a ship, if I can like chill with him there and the majority of the day, take him out, like walks of it, I'll be fine. But again, it's hard for me to find those places. I haven't looked as much as I probably should have, but I'm going to pay somebody to do all that work for me so I can have a plan for Nicaragua versus Bali versus Thailand versus the Philippines versus all the places, Costa Rica, like somebody mentioned, Panama, whatever. Got to plan that out accordingly. Eventually, they were backdated as they always do. It's a matter of when and every time they cut rates. A question: when will they cut rates? I mean, the market's pricing in them cutting rates pretty early. In 2024, Jerome Powell keeps on saying he doesn't think they're going to be cutting rates until the end of 2024, I think, or even 2025. Who's going to blink? I would say Jerome Powell's more likely to blink than the market, because the market will start to crash and throw a tissy fit and all types of stuff unless he starts to lower rates. And then he'll be forced to do it, But yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to get inflation to the levels he wants to before he has to start cutting rates. But yeah, Sean, that is the big question out there, $1 million question, so to speak. When exactly is going to cut rates? And hey, you guys, what do I think happens to Trump's Truth Social stick DWAC if Trump becomes president again? It's going to absolutely soar. I mean, if there was a YOLO to take on options, that'd probably be one of them. I don't have Truth Social, but maybe I should get it to kind of figure out what's going on. Let's see. Sorry, my grandmother texted me. But it'd be something I'd be YOLOing for sure, just for the fun of it. But you're betting on Trump winning the election if you're buying into it. If Trump doesn't win the election, he kind of fades from public view and stuff like that. I would say it'll probably end up closing, like it'll go down, it'll shut down the company probably within the next five years or so, maybe even sooner. They need him to become president in order to really rally people in there. And then... yeah, and they really got to get him in the White House if they want to see those share prices really start to go up, because they can't get out of that appearance of being a MAGA place where there's most advertisers don't want to go over there, and a lot of people on the moderate side of independent, or the lefties, they don't want to go over there unless it's to actually just meme and mock people on the right, and so there's not enough of that. There's not enough activity over there. And Twitter is doing a whole bunch of stuff right now. So, pretty soon we're going to have a banking system, crypto system, all that type of stuff in there. They're going to have to, Truth Social's going to have to do some stuff. I would not be betting on them to win in the long run, but for a YOLO for the presidency, yeah. I might as well go to one of those betting sites where you can gamble on anything. Like, how many steps will Trump take from the airplane to the Oval Office, or... how many times will Biden yawn during a speech, or how many times will Biden salute members, or anything. How many times will Biden touch his nose on the speech? It's a whole bunch of random crap that you can gamble on. I'd probably gamble on that. Have more fun on that. And in 1985, that is true. To prepare for the presidential election, it's challenging to raise inflation. Yeah, that's true. I mean, right now, Joe Biden has Bidenomics. Like, he has his name on the economy. And it's just, you know, I think we all can agree that the economy is not in a really good spot because corporations are doing quite well, but individuals in the economy are doing very, very poorly. What happens, you know, that's kind of what I would assume is the economy. But you look at the stock market, you know, what poor people, what paycheck to paycheck people. I would also say that there's a lot of Americans that can't freaking stop spending themselves. And I think we would have already been in a recession if Americans were not spending more than they earn. Because you see those credit card bills piling up. I have a friend, and I was just talking with him a few days ago. He is having his dad get him a loan because he can't pay off of his credit card debt. It's like no matter what he does, the credit card debt keeps on going up because he's paycheck to paycheck, and he's had to put like gas and things like that on the card. So it just goes up and up and up, and he's trying to pay it off. Like, he's making payments, but it just, with the high interest, it goes up and up and up and up. A lot of people are in a really bad rut right now. Then you have people that are like, you know, doing like, people like me, like, okay, we're doing fine. Yeah, I guess I'm probably better than fine, but yeah, people are doing okay. Like, you know, they have low credit card debt. They're still kind of going by. But once those people pretty much turn off the spigot, that's when everything really goes south in a hurry. They just got to liquidate longs and go up. I mean, it's happened before. Like I said, we've gone down $2,000, then ricocheted back up for some nice new 2023 highs. It can definitely happen again. I think people are just a little bit antsy about what's going to be coming out with the inflation report this week on Tuesday. Tuesday, we have one set of inflation numbers, the CPI, and I think on Wednesday, we have the PPI. I won't look into it, but I think we have like two sets of inflation coming out this week, which is going to be big. If the USA had a crash, Indonesia and most East Asia countries would still enjoy life near the beaches. That is that is absolutely true right there. That is absolutely true. And there you go, just so you guys can see, we had a little bit of a dip. We've dipped a few times so far over the past few days, and every single time it's been bottomed back up. We're just hoping the same thing can be said for this for this one here, of course. Anything actually going up right now? Altcoin is up a little bit. That's looking a little bit nicer. Everything else is looking like AVAX. Double top broke down. You know what may be interesting though? We may start to get more ETFs coming out here pretty soon. Let's see. And those ETFs could be about more than just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Maybe we'll have one on ADA or XRP or whatever out there. I would say XRP is probably the next one out if they do try to do that. And I'd be interested to see how long it takes one of those to be approved. A US default would be the best way to move the financial system to blockchain. I would say yes, I agree with you there. But I mean, I don't know how to describe it. America is going to go kicking and screaming into that place. It's going to be kicking and screaming the entire way, but they're not going to change their habits in order to fix the situation. They're just going to lead us there and be like, okay, well, we tried everything we could do, and then poof, there goes the economy. There goes the financial system. Holy shit. But, you know, we still got time, you know, a little bit longer. Are we headed towards a bull run? I would still say, like, I think eventually Bitcoin's going to have a pretty large crash sometime over the next few quarters, and it'll be much lower than what it is now, probably even going back down to like $30,000 or so. And then you're going to have going to the Bitcoin halving, and then things will turn around and be a lot better. I would primarily look to buy Bitcoin if you're thinking that we're going into a bull market. I would primarily buy it on massive days where you're having large crashes. And then you'd be looking to hold it for at max a year and a half or something. And then you're waiting for those all-time highs to really kick in and things like that. I could even be 2 years or so. But the way I'm looking at it right now, we're going to have probably, if the economy goes down, which I think it will, we're going to have a pretty big Bitcoin dip. I don't know if at this point we're going to be going back down to $15,000 or $17,000 unless we have some type of big exchange fail Imagine if FTX came back only to fail again because they don't have their numbers right or something like that. It'd be crazy. You're waiting for a Solana ETF? That's right up there too. That's right up there with XRP. That's definitely one that everybody's looking forward to. I know this is an amateur question, but what is the deal with altcoins popping days, weeks after Bitcoin pops? Do you have a video explaining why that is? To me, it's always been more that they seem to move up a little bit, you know, quite a bit, but how can I explain this like the easy way? It's always seemed to take them a little bit longer times to consolidate. So when you look at Bitcoin popping off here, what is this, October 23rd? And then we look at Matic, which I was talking to you guys about, and that happened November 1st. For whatever reason, see, it was actually pumping. It was pumping, but usually it just continues to move on. And the way I would explain it, that for this cycle, altcoins were very much oversold compared to Bitcoin because Bitcoin had been gaining so much dominance. There's a YouTuber out there that I think you would love. I forget his name. Benjamin something. Collaborate. There it is, Benjamin Cohen. This guy. He tries to sell you a thing, a whole bunch, but don't buy it. But he knows a lot of information there. Fear and Greed Index, logarithmic regressions, S&P 500 outlook. He does a lot of stuff here, and he's a really good guy. Bitcoin pre-halving returns, Bitcoin dominance. These Bitcoin dominance videos I think are really nice to watch. But he's a very informative guy. He goes over a lot of information here. And he just has a good sense of humor, so I would give him a watch. I don't think he's been embroiled in any controversy, so he goes over a lot of stuff about Bitcoin dominance, and usually when that Bitcoin dominance gets too high, or even hits its own level of resistance, you'll see that altcoins typically take off from that point. So, because you could see, when it came to Bitcoin here, what did I say, Monday the 23rd? It wasn't like Matic wasn't doing anything. It was having a big surge along with everything else. It was moving, but then it had to consolidate. And while Bitcoin was doing its smaller moves up, then you saw the altcoins really, really catch up. And this is October 23rd. Let me just choose something at random here. Arbitrum? Okay. And then you see it was having a pump, and this pump was from the low to this high right here. It was like a 15% pump. It was pretty nice. It went up even a little bit higher. Consolidated, broke out above this level of resistance, and then it was rocketing towards the moon here. There's always just been this little bit of a lagging effect. There's not so much of a lagging effect when Bitcoin's crashing, unfortunately, but after a while, it's fine. But again, you know, the 3 days up until this point, which is this the 20th up here to the breakout as far as Bitcoin's concerned, it rose at 15%. You see Bitcoin here a few days before the breakout, it rose about 15% too. The only thing was, you know, I guess it's harder to show here. Bitcoin relative to a whole bunch of stuff right now is wild. Bitcoin had its lows during the FTX crash. So those lows were in 2022 November. ADA lows June 2023. Everything's just way more oversold. So everything's playing catch up. Dogecoin lows were actually back in June of 2022. More sideways plus the breakout happening now. XRP. Actually, XRP is a different story because of all the court cases and stuff, but even it had some lows. Ape token, all the way over here. You didn't see Bitcoin coming back down this much, or maybe it did, but not like this chart. So everything else is very oversold. Ape token is probably one of those hidden gems right now as far as technicals. It's getting rejected right now, but I wonder if it can pop up sometime over the next few weeks. If it can, it's going to be massive. But still, let's go back over here and do one last one. Breakout right here. So that, actually, there was a breakout that happened right there, and that would have been a good opportunity to buy. But again, Bitcoin was popping off those last few days. So before, or up to the Bitcoin pop, it came up 10%. So it's moving up, but these parabolic moves kind of happen once all the momentum shifts. And what we've kind of seen specifically in this past quarter, past few weeks, maybe even couple months, see all these golden crosses coming out of nowhere. Weekly charts, Matic. Oh, what am I looking at? Sorry, daily charts. All of a sudden, all these golden crosses happening right beforehand. All these bullish momentum things happening. And once the momentum really shifted, whether you're looking at MACDs or any other oscillators out there, you're pretty happy with yourself. But yeah, there's usually a bunch of different factors, but right now, that was pretty much it. Really, a lot of stuff had to catch back up to Bitcoin because Bitcoin had been going up for a while, and altcoins were just definitely not going up. I think Ape token is probably the best example of that, though, because you just see how far this came down. Like, when Bitcoin found its low in November of 2022, that's over here for Ape. So imagine, meanwhile, Bitcoin's been going up over the past few quarters. You know, Ape token rallied for a little bit, but then all of a sudden... down, 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 and only now we're starting to pick ourselves back up. But Benjamin, watch his channel. He has a lot of good tidbits. Maybe I should incorporate some of the stuff that he has on his channel or mine. But I think the only thing is he tries to sell you something on every stream or his Into the Cryptoverse little backend. But I don't think it's something that's actually like makes his videos worse or anything. It's just like, hey, I have this thing. If you want to buy it, it has all this cool stuff and it can help you. So you know you can buy it. Just like how I have affiliate links and stuff like that. I don't think it's a terrible thing. Oh, D's Nuts is like really breaking it down in a much simpler way. So yeah, while I'd imagine the big boss having the great green, the other small bosses would also got green. It is, however, depends on the politics in that coin. Some bears doesn't want it to go up yet. I mean, that's why I was on Matic. But Matic, we had to wait for the breakout, and then you look for the surge rate. But the technicals have to add up too. And hey, would I short Affirm? I would probably say yeah. I'm not really a fan of it. The only thing is the market seems like the economy's in the gutter, but the stock market continues to go up. So I wouldn't be surprised if even I wouldn't be surprised if Affirm kept on going up or generally up, even with the earnings report and everything like that, despite all the news that we've been getting over the past few months. I would say long-term shorting, probably a good bet. I would probably say, isn't it shorted quite a bit already? Yeah, 19% right here. So that, I mean, there's a lot of people that kind of fit that boat. But look at it. Last couple of days, it popped all the way up to like $27, and then it's all the way back down to $22. Like it's not supposed to be this high in the first place. Eventually, like I guarantee, give it a quarter, or not even a quarter, just a few months, it's going to break down below this trend line. It's all going to be, it's going to be horrible for the stock. But you know, downgraded here in October, downgraded in July, downgraded in February, and down in February again, December of last year. You know, I don't know who's been expecting this thing to be great. People can't afford their debt. Look at that. Let me see. Look at that beautiful income right there. Market cap is small, but not tiny. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be short rather than long. But I mean, it's just, you don't know how long it's going to take. That's the thing. If you're looking at a really good entry price, I guess technically it is a nice entry price. But, you know, the fees for shorting, sometimes they may take a while. So just make sure you know the fee structure for whatever you guys are trying to short. See, yeah, they definitely need momentum, Psycho and D's. Thanks, Mike. I'll definitely check his stuff out and not buy what he's listing and things. D's, yeah, it's a good platform. I've never actually bought it, but I've heard good stuff about it. It's just like one of those things where I'm pretty sure it's something expensive. Let me go over here very fast. Let me see. Let me click on one of his videos. Get premium access. Oh, he changed up the plan a little bit. I think he has subscription plans now. It's $19 a month, or $39 a month, or $99 a month. Private Telegram alerts and stuff like that. you know, or lifetime $6,000, yearly $999 or $349 or $149. So there's some affordable stuff in here, but I don't think you guys need to necessarily buy stuff like this. The only stuff I've ever recommended that you guys buy that you guys might want to have is options flow data, because that's really nice just to see where all the money's flowing into for options. But I mean, I guess maybe he has some stuff with Bitcoin options if you guys trade crypto options. Not too bad. Just like Chick-fil-A motto, pleasure. There we go. All right, but okay, buddy, I'm gonna hop off the stream right now. I gotta call my grandmother. She's bugging me quite a bit right now because I'm getting my house cleaned up here pretty soon. And then I'll be live tomorrow. I'm gonna start with a new daily video format coming up. Well, let me just put my there you go. I'm gonna start with a new daily video format. It's gonna not daily, but I'm gonna be posting videos specifically on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, going over some like a couple minutes of the news of the day or the last couple days, and then going over some charts, and then just going on over anything that I want to talk about, like this cryptocurrency's popping, let's talk about this, whatever. So that's going to be what I'm going to be doing on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You guys should see a video on that. Oh no, sorry, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, my bad. And then from there, I'm going to be posting videos like that. I just got to learn how to edit them up a little bit, but I think they'll be fine. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Be safe. Watch the moving averages. Right now, guys, we're not in a huge pickle. I mean, like, it's not that bad. I know it seems like it's going to get worse, but we're fine at this point. Just make sure that you guys are keeping an eye on what's happening with CPI numbers. I'm probably not going to stream the CPI numbers in the morning because I don't want to wake up that early. And plus, Tuesday's a freaking shit show for me because, like I said, I got people cleaning my house. I literally have like 3 people coming here to clean, like, deep clean my house for like 8 hours. So there's like a lot of stuff for me to do in between before that. But